How many of you are of Eastern European descent? How many of you are hunkies, just like me? Okay, so you should know the answer to this phrase, shouldn't you? The Lord is risen. Thank you. Somebody got it. The Lord is risen. Indeed, he is risen. The Lord is risen. You did better than last night. Father Regis did this last night. Huh? It's 10:30, it's too late. I've been joking with Cliff this past week because in June he's going to be ordained to the diaconate. And he's been taking diligent notes. Haven't you, Cliff? And I kept asking him, you want to preach today? No, Father. I think he should preach. I won't ask him this morning because he's not prepared. But next year, be prepared. One of the fundamental aspects of being an American is our right to free religion. It's based upon our Constitution. And as a concept, it's a wonderful concept where you do not have to worry about persecution of any kind, where you do not have to worry that there will be squads out to get you, or to banish you, or to chase you away. That is something that the early disciples had no luxury of. If you were considered a heretic, you were banished if they were merciful. You were caught and killed if they were not. In the early church then, people truly had to be convicted about their faith because they would never know whether they were going to be left alone or to be turned in by their neighbor. Their faith was their very lives, and as it should be. Whether it was Judaism, whether it was Christianity, whether it was the neighboring pagan religions, religion to these ancient peoples was very important because it defined who they are. Now, for us, 2,000 plus years later, who live with the luxury of, not being persecuted, or not being chased, or not being arrested, there is a danger that our faith, instead of being part and parcel of who we are, becomes a nice concept. Oh, Christianity, oh yeah, we believe in Jesus rose from the dead, so we get our Easter eggs out, we get our ham, we have our family over, we go to church. Yeah, no big deal. It's just as good as anything else. That notion, on one level, is a far cry of what we are truly meant to be. Instead of being John going to the tomb and believing, we become Mary, who went into the tomb and complained that they stole the body. It's very easy for us at Easter or at Christmas or at any other holiday or holy day to see God as a concept. So instead of being, spiritual, we live spiritualism. Spiritualism is, oh yeah, there's, a concept that we call God out there. But, that God, whatever you want to call him, doesn't really affect us every day. Just, it's just something to make us feel good. Just something to give us purpose. I'm Christian, you're Hindu, same thing. There are fundamental differences. For the next 40 days, we're going to read and reread and relook at this Easter event. If we say Christ is risen, and we respond, indeed he is risen, that response for you, where does it come from? Does it come from here? Or does it come from here? Your heart. Many of you know me as the cartwheel priest. No. Don't even think about it. Did you ever hear the story of why that happened? It was Easter Sunday. I was at St. Simon and Jude Parish in the South Hills. And I come out to do my homily. It was back in 93, so I've only been ordained 3 or 4 years. 93, 94. I come out, and everybody's face, everybody's face, no smile, no joy. And so, whatever homily I was thinking of that day, I changed it. My brothers and sisters, the Lord is risen. The Lord is indeed risen. Folks, and I said to them, this is Easter Sunday. We believe in the resurrection. This is a day of happiness, joy, laughter. And if you truly believe in the resurrection, you can do this. Did a cartwheel down the center aisle. Actually, I did 3. 1, 2, 3. That's when I was 27, 28, and 175 pounds. This lady come up to me after Mass. I'm mad at you. Why? Because I was asleep and I didn't see anything. The whole point. You know these stories. You've heard these gospel accounts year after year after year. Do you truly believe that Jesus is risen? Not a concept, not an ideal, not just even, a way to worship. But do you believe that Jesus is risen from the dead? Because if you do, then your participation in his suffering and death has the resurrection as a part of it. If we live with the Lord, if we die with the Lord, we shall be with the Lord. Do you believe that? Can you say from the depths of your heart, the Lord is indeed risen? And because of that, live the resurrection. Not just something when we die, but something now. We are a resurrection people. Live the resurrection. Not just in theory, but in fact.